Welcome back to the Webleedpixels Podcast. I'm your host, T.
And I'm your co-host, V.
Hi, V.
Hi, T.
What What have you been doing this week?
I feel like I started playing some games, 2 games, that, I really enjoyed to a point, and I got a little bit disappointed because they weren't fully, working. One of them I understand because it's not fully out yet, so they do tell you, hey, if you spot any problems, let us know. That's all right, but it's also kind of like, oh no, I really enjoy it. I want it to be out now.
I hate that.
But then I ended up what?
I'm guessing that's Craftopia.
Yes, and then I ended up a little bit more on a high with the other game because things did get sorted, and that's Monster Harvest. So I played those 2 games, and really enjoyed them. They had a rough start this week.
I'm not gonna lie, it was rough in the beginning. Monster Harvest, definitely. I think we can both agree that they've really shown that they care about their consumers.
Definitely, yes. Definitely. I know that there were a lot of issues. I'm sure so many people flooded Twitter with, hey, this doesn't work. Hey, that doesn't work. And they really stepped up and listened and fixed a lot of things.
Hopefully they were nice complaints, because I don't like when people go ballistic at the devs.
No, yeah, I know that there was a lot wrong, but you still don't have a right to be like, oh my gosh, this sucks. If you spot a problem, let them know. You don't have to be hateful.
Yeah, just tell them nicely.
I really hope people were just kind of letting them know, and I'm sure that it was overwhelming because there were so many issues that I'm sure was overwhelming. But I just really hope that people were respectful about it.
Yeah, instead of being just hateful. Because I know that I reached out to the devs as well, because on my playthrough, my selling box stopped working because my axe glitched out into the selling box, and then that was it. For the next 4 days, nothing was getting sold because it wasn't actually working. I couldn't get my axe back out of the box because apparently it wasn't in the box, but it was telling me that it was in the box, but then it kept shouting at me to not sell my tools.
Yeah, devs are people. I know that we're all behind screens and things that you can say whatever, but it's devs are people. I mean, one thing that I saw this week is the dev of the game Summer of 58 has basically just left.
Is that the one is that the one who left?
Yeah, he left the industry because so Steam put out a new policy where you can get a refund on a game within 2 hours, and this dev's game, Summer of 58, is playable in under 2 hours. And so what people are doing is just playing it, returning it, getting a refund, and obviously that means the dev, the company, I'm not sure if it's a company, it's a little indie game, they make nothing, basically.
No.
So, I mean, I'm not sure if it's nothing, but if you think about it, it's they make things from sales, right? So,
yeah,
sales of their games, so that people buy the game, play it, it can be completed. It's not speedrunning. It can be completed in under 2 hours. People return it, and they get their refund because it's within the 2-hour refund window that Steam has set up. So
that I'm gobsmacked. If you would see my face right now, it is just pure open and what the heck is wrong with people?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess the thing is, it's if you have less than 2 hours of logged play time. Well, obviously the game can be played and completed in less than 2 hours. So they get a full refund because the play time is less than 2 hours because you can play it in less than 2 hours.
How? How many games have you seen me play, which some of them have only taken 10 minutes, have I went and got a refund? No.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I want to support those indie companies because they make fantastic games. Yes, sure, some of the games are short games, but they're still fantastic games.
Right, and I think it's just sad. It's a really sad situation, and I feel like in situations like this, Steam should have some sort of I don't know.
There should be some dev policy where they protect their devs.
This may be me thinking that like Steam or, big companies or whatever care about things like this more than maybe they do or than they're capable of, but I feel like there should be something where it's like, yes, if a game can be playable in less than 2 hours, like within the refund window, those devs, because a lot of indie games are like that. Indie games are so quick, and that's not a bad thing. Like indie games are great, quick little games. And I think that Steam should have something where it's like if your game is completable within the 2 hour playtime return window, they should have some sort of adjustment where it's like, I don't know about no refund, but like a way shorter window
Or instead
where
of you
it's,
get your money back, you get Steam tokens or something, and the dev still collects their money. Because you look at, all right,
yeah.
there's that game called 12 Minutes. That's a game which you can complete in 12 minutes. There's another game called 60, I think it's like Hero in 60 Seconds or something, and it literally completes in 60 seconds.
That's, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
people
like,
can return that.
yeah, I mean, you can complete. I think some people have managed to complete Dark Souls in 30 minutes or less. There's also, like there's loads of games where the speed run time. You look at somebody from the community who they completed Ori and the Blind Forest within like 25 minutes.
Wow.
Like, what do they just refund that now?
I don't know. I mean, and they're not the first to complain about this policy. There have been other indie devs who have said the same thing. And one said that short games shouldn't get refunded for delivering an amazing experience, which is true. That was
100% true.
Bella. That was Bella Messix, who is the Before Your Eyes creator. I'm guessing another indie game, and it's true. Like I don't understand returning it. Like I just don't understand returning it. There are games that I complete that or even if I didn't enjoy it or didn't complete it, whatever, I don't think of returning it.
I
Maybe
mean,
I remove it, but I don't just return it.
you can do that though because you're in America, whereas like over inside the UK, we can't return games on the Xbox, like store. But I think you can in America, like if it's a game where.
Oh, okay.
So, like, potentially you could, if you brought all the little indie games which I've played, you could complete them within 10 minutes and then return them. Right? Obviously, I'm not saying that you are because you're actually a decent person. But also, like, just think of the potential of what this dev could have made. Like, you'll think, like, this could have been their first or their second game. And yeah, sure, it's an indie game which you can complete within, under 2 hours. But think of the potential. We source our money to we give our money to these devs. They take a cut. I guess Steam will probably take a cut, but they take a majority cut or something. And then think of what they could create next. Like we could have now, like thanks to them, the people who return their game, we could have missed out on a completely brand new experience. Like either first person shooter or RPG, like something which could rival Elder Scrolls. Now we never know.
Mhm.
Never know. That's it. Gone.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just yeah, like this dev completely left. So yes, like you said, it's just like Summer of 58 obviously is a popular game because people were playing it. A lot of people started playing it. But things like that, it's just like I feel like with indie games, the people who play it, who buy it and whatnot, that's really important. I think that can really make or break the game. If it's not a success, that can break the game. That's because then,
Well, that's what
the
the people at Weebly Pixels. That's what the people. Sorry, that's what the people at Empower to the People told us.
right,
Literally, he said in our last podcast episode, he said that if the game doesn't do well, that's a make or break.
exactly. But what is really frustrating is that this game did do well, and this happened. Like they weren't. It wasn't able to be a success, not by any fault of the game, but just by this stupid little policy that you can return it after 2 hours of playtime. And it takes less than that. So it's like, that's such a frustrating thing of like, well, the game actually did well, but the company or dev or whatever cannot because people were able to just return it.
I'm wondering if it was a thing of where somebody wrote, somebody who's like probably plays all the games on Steam, wrote a review of the game after completing it, saying it completed it, it took less than 2 hours, refunded it, and then that's how people saw this, and then that's why they started doing it. Because it's almost like one person starts these type of things. It's not just a bunch of people think, oh, maybe it's a bunch of individual people, but it all rallied round, and that's how this became a thing. Because I know that I look at reviews before I buy games on Steam.
I know that after the devs' statement about them leaving, a lot of people saw that and started leaving good reviews and things on the Steam page of the game and encouraging people to get the game. So a lot of people were getting it. I hope that they are getting it and keeping it and not just continuing this cycle. But I think a lot of people really saw, like, after the devs tweet, I think a lot of people saw that and wanted to give support.
I think that what I'm going to do after this podcast is I'm going to go and buy that game and play it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people should. Anyone who likes like scary kind of horror games, because that's what it is, I think should get this game and
You
play
never
it
said
and
it was
keep
that.
it. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
You didn't open
I'm
with, hey,
sorry.
it's a scary horror. You just ticked all my boxes.
Indie horror to your souls.
There we go.
Yeah, I think anyone who likes horror, indie, wants a quick little thing to play when you're not sure what to play and want a little scare in your life should get it and play it and keep it. Do not return
please
it
do not return
just because
games.
you can.
I've only ever tried returning one game, and that was Fallout 4 when I had my first PC, and my PC wasn't capable of running the game. That was when Steam had a 4-hour return policy. I think it was 4 hours, or it might have been the 2 hours. I'm not quite sure. But see, this is where, like, because my argument with that and why I've really fought to get this return, refund policy, was because Fallout 4, you spend a lot of time creating your character, because obviously you're going to see your character, you're going to play as that character for a long time, because it's a game, like Fallout or Elder Scrolls, and you really want to customize your character, and they give you all these customizations. So like for the first 40 to 45 minutes to an hour, I spent customizing my character. And then when I actually got into the game and got to the first because the game run real smooth until I got to the first bandit area, and then it became laggy and it became framey, and my computer said that it could handle it, but it clearly couldn't handle it. So obviously I wanted to get a refund on that game, was denied the refund, so I spent £50 on a game which I couldn't play.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, and that I feel is a fair return policy. It's not as if I completed the game and then, well, I want my $50 back.
Hey, that's valid. Playing a game and enjoying it because you actually finished it doesn't warrant a refund.
Yeah, so then what I done was to play Fallout 4, because my computer apparently couldn't handle it. What I done was I then brought a Xbox One S and brought Fallout 4. So Bethesda took like £80 to £100 off me for the same game. I don't know, that's just baffling. More baffling news, if I can interject and chuck in some baffling news. Sony is now offering, in quotations, free Horizon Forbidden West PS4 to PS5 upgrade, because they got criticized for wanting people to spend an extra, you if you got a PS4 and you can't get a PS5 yet, but you want to play Horizon Zero West, you would spend $60 or $100 or so to buy the game, to play the game, and then when you eventually could get a PS5, you would want to play that game on the PS5, for the better graphics, for the better frames, for the better loading time, if the game has loading time. Sony wanted you to spend an extra $79.99 for a digital deluxe edition, or $199 for a collector's edition, or $259 for an edition that I can't even pronounce.
Goodness.
But then after criticism, fair right criticism, they then said, okay, we'll give you again, in quotations, free upgrade. You know how much this upgrade is?
How much?
It's $10. So it's not
Oh,
free.
that's free. Free for $10.
Yep. Which means the real kicker, this is it, yeah? The real kicker means that for every now game which you want to upgrade from PS4, or games coming out from PS4 to PS5, you're going to have to spend a free $10.
For every game?
Yep, so the new God of War, Gran Turismo 7, and other Sony first-party cross-gen games will have a $10 free upgrade. Wow, thanks, Sony.
And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, $10 isn't that much. It's not, but it's the fact that they say a free upgrade, as it should be. It should be free.
Can I just say,
but they are also
Xbox are giving free upgrades to their games.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything, unless Xbox, unless when this comes out and then they change it, their games on Game Pass are becoming free Xbox and S series upgrades.
It should be free, but also it's the fact that they're calling it free, but you have to pay $10.
It's like with Final Fantasy VII, when they done their upgrade, to PS5 edition, they wanted you, I don't know how, because when I'm looking through to get Final Fantasy VII remake for PS5, there's so many versions which they put on their store, so it's like confusing of what one I need to buy, because obviously I don't want to buy the game twice. But they gave it for free back in March on their PS Plus, PS Now.
Yes,
kind of like they're like Game Pass. Well, no, they're like games for gold, kind of thing.
Oh,
but you have to spend money to upgrade it to the PS5 version. Why?
That just seems.
Why we do this?
So
I'm not trying to hate on Sony, because I like Sony. I'm somebody who has, I like all consoles and platforms and whatever, company you want to work for, or whatever, company, you like your games. If you like Microsoft games, great, I like you. If you like PlayStation games, great, I like you. If you like Nintendo Switch, great, or Nintendo, great, I like you. If you like Steam, cool, let's be friends. I'm not trying to start anything, because because I like all sorts of platforms. But what I don't like is platforms trying to money grab, because you spend, $60, $70 on a game here. You know, and then you have to spend an extra $10 to upgrade that game. That's £80 for that game, not even including with DLC or anything extra, which they're going to add on to that game.
Right.
So you're looking at spending, £130 to £140 for one game.
I don't understand the need to charge for an upgrade. Like you said, Xbox just gives you the upgrade for free. I don't understand where this $10 to upgrade comes from.
Yeah, I mean, Surgeon Simulator 2 and Craftopia got released on the Series X and S, on Game Pass, and on old gen consoles, because I guess your one doesn't say X and S on it, of your Craftopia.
I'm not sure.
But they got released for free. They didn't then say, hey, these are on Game Pass, but give us an extra £10 to upgrade. It's free. I mean, obviously, it's. I don't want to say it's free, because then people go, yeah, actually, you have to spend £32, pounds every 3 months to get Game Pass. But it's a free upgrade of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting it on, I'm not going to download it on, say, my Xbox One S, and then play it and then download it on the Series S, and then they're not going to then say, hey, to play this game you have to get give us £10.
No,
it just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
You can't say something's free and then charge money for it. Imagine a movie thing, you buy your ticket, you go to sit down, and then some man pops up on the screen and says, hey, to watch this film, give us £10. But I've already paid for my ticket. Nah, £10. Is that
it's like when you're doing something on what are you're on a site or whatever, and you're you think it's all free, and then I don't even. Oh, what am I even?
And then a pop-up comes up, and it's £10 to upgrade. Why?
Well, no, it'll just be to continue, credit card information or whatever. You have to pay. It's oh no, never mind.
Like an article.
Exit. Yeah.
The Independent does that. I'll be trying to read an article, because it'll be the first thing which I've clicked on, because the first thing from Google, and then and then you read like the headline and then the first paragraph, and then when it gets into the juicy bit, which you want to read, it then says, "Hey, to continue reading, subscribe."
Yeah, I think the New York Times does that because I think they give you like a certain amount of free articles a month or something, and then if you like go past that, you have to pay. But yeah, it'll give you the introduction, and then you like try to like keep reading, and then it's like, oh, to continue, like you need to pay.
I don't understand why companies do this. How are they not out of business? How is this not like because yes, because there was criticism to Sony for the one, for the needing to spend like an extra $80 to buy the, you basically have to buy the game twice.
Hmm.
And it's just like, but then instead you're spending $10. It's like you're still spending money for something which should be free. But again,
I
not
can
hating on it.
understand.
We like
Yeah,
Sony. They have some good games.
they do. Just they're a little money hungry.
A little bit. A little bit grabby. They're like Joel from The Last of Us when he's grabbing those items up.
With his crab hands.
Yes, he's got crab hands.
Well, I know we're going to talk a lot about delays today, things that should have been delayed. Before we get into that, though, I have one more thing that kind of has to do with a game that was very much delayed. I'm sure whenever we think of game delays, everyone thinks of Cyberpunk. Who like it's the standard for game delays. Anyway, one cool thing though is that there are, I mean, for one, the game is still very broken, right? Like,
100% broken. They're not given their upgrade this year. I bet that
right.
they're doing it for free though. I can say that.
Oh, that's good. Um, I found some cool news. There were two modders who I guess had been modding Cyberpunk and, doing such a good job. Everyone thought it was really cool, whatever, that they actually got hired to work on the game just based on their modding skills.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's really cool. I thought it was really cool. I know that there's another person who had modded a game before and was hired by Bethesda for mods that she did on Fallout 4.
Or that you was going to say Skyrim then.
No.
My head, whenever someone says Bethesda, so like, yeah, this is Skyrim. Just Todd Howard's voice comes into my head.
But yeah, I just thought it was really cool that like they were seen for their modding abilities by the company and were brought on to work with them.
See, that's interesting because I wondered, like, did they obviously they must have studied, well, I say obviously, but did they study to be mods or to to do like modding, or is it something which they just like doing in their spare time? Because I know that there's a lot of people who do mods for games on onside the PC like world, and
Mhm.
they're really commended for their modding. And it's like it's amazing to see just normal, like, not game devs but just normal people like who enjoy doing modding do all this modding for people, and then now modders are being picked up for like to work on the games which they've modded for free.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it looks like they do have a development studio, but like their whole studio basically or like there's a few modders who from their studio will be joining the Cyberpunk team.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations to them. I
Yeah.
hope so if Cyberpunk starts to improve, we'll know why.
I mean, we can only hope.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm hoping, because I would like to get back into Cyberpunk, but like I said, like I think on episode 1, my version of Cyberpunk on the Xbox Series S is broken because cars don't actually work anymore, and I don't want to restart.
Yeah, it's gonna need some work before you're able to get back on it.
Yeah, which I'm hoping, maybe, we don't know, but maybe.
Hmm.
Can I tell you something exciting?
Yes.
For all of you Nintendo players out there, Nintendo it's been leaked and documented, and I'm not sure if it's actually confirmed. Eurogamer sources confirm it, but Nintendo Switch are bringing Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games to the Nintendo Switch Online, just like they've done with the SNES and the NES. Like the NES now has 80 games on Nintendo Switch, and the SNES has 50 games on there. But totals do vary, between regions of where, depending on where you live. But there is reports that there are going to be Game Boy and Game Boy Color games added into the Switch.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Which that is actually depending on the titles, because I know that they're already remastering Advance Wars, so I don't think we're going to be getting a Advance Wars. Or no, sorry, that was Game Boy Advance. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I wonder if we're going to be seeing Pokemon on there, like the old school Pokemon games. So like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, maybe Green if you're in Japan, or
Purple.
inside Purple. No, wait, was there a purple?
I know nothing of Pokemon. I made
right,
that
come
up.
on, well, stop chucking purple at me. Just random colors. You're just thinking about the Garden Stories game because that's a purple grape.
Yeah.
I saw that trailer, by the way. It looks cute. But yeah, so I don't know whether they're going to be adding, the old Pokemon games. So you might potentially be able to play Crystal, Silver, and Gold again. But I do know that they already remastered those ones. So plus they keep re-releasing Johto and Kanto games. So maybe not. Maybe they're looking at more the old school Marios, the old school Legend of Zeldas. So it could be potential that we could see. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Legend of Zelda. It was a Game Boy Color game. I know that there's Link's Awakening and Link's Awakening DX, I want to say, but that's not the one which I'm thinking of. It's like Legend of Zelda Miracle something or other. There was two of them. It was like Minnow's. Is it Minnow's Hat? Oh, I don't know what one it is. I should have researched the names. I'm sorry, but we might see Legend of Zeldas, and we might probably see Wario's games come onto the Switch, and maybe some old school Kirby's. Don't know. Obviously, we don't. I don't know. It's just maybe there's a possibility. Maybe.
That's exciting for a lot of people, though.
Oh yeah, like if you are Nintendo based, that's right up your alley. We know a lot of people inside the community who are Nintendo based.
Yeah, definitely.
So they might, so this might be news for them. They might be like, oh my god, yes, like I've wanted to play the old school Mario games. Now you can. Maybe even Dr. Mario. I don't know whether I think that's on the SNES version or the NES version. I always get them mixed up. I don't know what one came first. But then it also means this is potential for Nintendo to release, say, GameCube games on there or Nintendo 64 games on there. So like, their older platforms released onto the Switch, just as the online capabilities. Because if they can do the SNES, the NES, the Game Boy Color, you would think that then they could start doing the Game Boy SP, the Game Boy Advance. I just realized that they have a lot of consoles. And they're all weirdly the same name, like SNES, NES, N64. Obviously, that's, different, but GameCube, that's the one which is real different. But then they did have Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance SP, Game Boy DS. Game Boy DS, it wasn't called Game Boy DS, it then switched to Nintendo DS.
They have so many.
It goes on. There's a list. I think they've released at least 5 Game Boy DSs. Why do they keep calling Game Boy DSs? I'm stupid. Nintendo DSs, because it's like Nintendo DS and Nintendo DS Deluxe, I think, or Nintendo DS 3D. I don't know. I can't count no more. By the rate they're going, they're going to be rivaling Game Freak with Pokemon. Instead of like trying to catch all the Pokemon, you got to try own all of the Nintendo devices. Yeah, that's my news.
Well, that's really cool. I'm sure a lot of people are hyped about that.
Me?
Yes. Reverse hype, though, we do have some things that we think should have been delayed.
Ooh, yes. Whether it be the game itself or certain elements of the game or maps of the game, there is some things which we feel free to disagree inside the comments, or or tweet at me and feel free to disagree with us. but these are our opinions, and I think what should have been delayed, because it's already now been removed again. This is the second time it's been removed. Is the Dead by Daylight Resident Evil map? Because you look at when it first got released, how excited was I to play that map?
Oh, so excited.
I could not wait, because obviously Resident Evil is a massive, especially because it's Resident Evil 3 map, and it's got my girl Jill, and obviously the our boy Leon. And for the consoles, they actually removed the map. It didn't get released when it got released on PC. I'm not 100% sure why, but it didn't get released. And now,
I don't know.
I have no idea. But now what they've done is they've now took the map off completely again. I think what they've done, because they've removed a couple maps, haven't they, or are those maps back in? It's hard to keep track of what maps
I have no idea.
like given us and not given us. I know that's probably why whenever we play, we only get the swamp map. Right,
Or that we get like indoor maps. I feel like I don't know what happened. It was like, I don't know if it was with the addition of the Raccoon City Police Department, or if it was just other maps that they were trying to update. They broke a lot of the maps. Like, so many of the maps have random invisible floating things. Like, you'll just be walking and then suddenly your person like walked up onto something, but there's nothing there.
Yeah,
We've
and then
found so
you do
many
that weird
rocks that you
fall.
can walk on.
Like when you do the weird floaty where you just go in the air and then you fall, and then that alerts the killer to where you are because you fell. And if you've got the perk balance landed on, that's going to activate.
Oh yeah, that happened to me the other day. It put me on top of something that wasn't there, and I like apparently jumped off the other side of whatever this invisible thing was, and it activated my balanced landing perk.
You didn't accidentally climb the Wraith, did you? While they was invisible.
No, but there are also just like so many rocks that you can climb. I know the swamp map has the rock because
I got stuck in that rock, and the killer couldn't do anything. I died to the map.
That was your own fault.
Live by the rock, die by the rock.
But I know on the snow map, there's a rock that you can get on top of.
There's multiple on the snow map. There's multiple things which you can get on top of. There's a generator which I got on top of. Trying to fix the generator, it put me on top of the generator instead.
And this is all recent. Like, I don't know what happened, but there are a lot of things in the maps that are very glitchy.
100%. Like, and now what they've done, because the Resident Evil map has been removed from the game entirely because people found a way to get outside of the map. And in doing that, what they done, like they called it breakouts, which was quite clever because it's inside a police department and it's obviously about zombies. And they called it breakouts. So people have been figuring out a way how to get outside the map. Then you run around the outside of the map, and before the generators are done, you go to where a exit is and you get to leave.
That's ridiculous.
And obviously the clip which I saw, of course, it would be, guess the character.
A Meg!
A Meg! Yes!
Of course.
You get 100 points. Meg was the character. Of course it was Meg. It was always Meg. If there's a way...
Can you imagine...
No, go on.
Can you imagine being the killer and suddenly it just says that someone escaped?
Yeah, you'd be like, excuse me?
The generators aren't done, the hatch isn't open, someone just left.
And then they see the character, silhouette, and it's Meg. And they're like, of course, Meg. If there's a way to show off a bad survivor, it's always a Meg. Not to hate anyone who plays Meg, but maybe switch your character, switch your main. I've never come across a nice Meg. That's all I'm gonna say. And maybe the devs haven't either, because in the Resident Evil opening, a Meg got slammed against the car.
True. So, another one. Oh, go ahead.
No, you.
Well, I was just gonna move on to Monster Harvest.
That's what I was gonna say. You stole it from my brain.
I know that a lot of work this week, literally, like in a couple days, a lot of work went into Monster Harvest, fixing it, making it more playable, and it's great. I know that you're still having some things break, your little shop guy.
I worked around a solution of how to fix him.
Oh, that's good.
So if this hold on, because this might have happened to other people. Sorry to interject.
No, go ahead.
But if if the guy who upgrades your tools and sells you the slimes and the slime bottles, if he breaks, what I do is now it's normally whenever you buy something from him or you upgrade a tool, he then will be forever inside a talking option when he's not really there talking. So what you do is you would finish your day, save the game, close the game, then restart the game. So then, and then by the next time you go to him, he's fixed again. Because I figured that out today when I was playing it earlier. He broke again because I brought a slime bottle from him. And then what I done is then I waited to the end of the day, saved my game by sleeping. Then I closed the game and reloaded the game up. Went onto my save, and he's fixed again.
Good. I was just gonna say though that like they have done so much work to make the game more playable, but I will say we played it when it was out for us. So I don't know when that was. The other day. And
It was August 31st.
Okay. And it was rough. Like the left stick to like just to select things. I mean, my name is wrong because it apparently decided to switch the letters. I know how to spell my name.
Are you
I
sure?
spelled it right. Yes, I spelled it right, but the game just said, no, actually, this is what this letter actually is. So now it's wrong. But like the left stick just to try to like select things, move things, whatever, was so not even touchy. It just didn't work.
I'm thinking what they done is they accidentally added in the PC mouse and keyboard controls for console players, because now when the game is loaded up, you don't get the little mouse cursor, because when the game first came out, there was a mouse cursor on it to select your items, and now there isn't that. That's how come my axe glitched out into the selling bin, because the mouse cursor hovered over it when I was trying to pick up a flower, and boom, it went in there. So I'm guessing that they added a patch in and removed mouse and keyboard for consoles.
Well, whatever they did, it worked. But it's just one of those things where it's like, maybe, I mean, I don't understand how they didn't have like a tester or something, because this was from the beginning. I mean, you're on the menu screen trying to select new game and you can't. So I don't understand how there wasn't a tester or something who like realized all this on console. But I just feel like, I know that the game was delayed a few times, and like, we were kind of sad because like we've been so excited for this game. But the way that it played on the first day, I just think that I would have been happy with another delay to make sure that it was fully playable and actually ready.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, maybe they did have testers, and maybe they didn't. Depends on if they could afford, to get like said testers in. But I feel as if, like if the game got released on how it is now, and that was because of another delay, say this month it got released instead, so September the 31st rather than August the 31st, I would have been a lot more happier, because the first couple of days, you get a new, there's a game which you're excited for, you want to play it immediately. As soon as the release time is up, midnight, yep, I'm downloading it, I'm playing it, I'm waiting for the day one patch, I'm going to play it. Monster Harvest was not the case. It was okay, I'll wait a couple of days to play this game.
Yeah, you were very sad Dog Diaries, because I know that, like, the day before, I mean, you told me 6 days before, you were, like, counting down. You're like, it's out in 6 days. 6 days, it comes out. And then, like, you were counting down from then. And then the night before, you were like, oh, it comes out at midnight. Like, it'll be out at this time. Like, we can play it tomorrow. Like, you were so excited for this game. And I know that you were really disappointed when it was hardly playable.
Yeah, it because it's a game of, it's Stardew Valley meets Pokemon. That's got me all excited. And
yeah, I mean, I was disappointed too, because I was really struggling, and like, I know I'm not a good gamer, so like I was really struggling and just getting frustrated, and like, well, is it just me? Am I just bad. Am I that bad at games that like I can't even like play this cute little like Pokemon Stardew game? But no, it was just so busted. But it works so much better now.
Yeah, and the devs had obviously, I guess, either listened to their audience or they realized that, we've accidentally released the wrong patch or the wrong port onto console. So let's quickly change that. I must say, though, like, for it to be switched or changed or upgraded or whatever they done that quick for Xbox is phenomenal because normally games take ages. I mean, like, there's been games where on PC, you can easily patch it on PC because you have control over it. But if you're porting it over to consoles, you then got to then take that patch to, say, Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft, and then they have to make the decision whether or not it's up to standards to be released on the console. So you have to wait, because there was a case of Binding of Isaac. The devs of Binding of Isaac, they gave the patch to Xbox, and it took 6 to 7 weeks to then finally do the patch in because Xbox was not happy with the patch, which is, in one way, that's really good because then it means, Xbox, they are keeping devs to their standards and holding them, say, accountable for when stuff is going wrong. But then on the other hand, that's bad because then people can lose, say, like, interest inside the game or get angry at the devs for how the game is now running.
Yeah.
So it's just
go ahead.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say they did it so quick.
Yes, and now we are playing it happily.
Yeah, very happily. I mean, I got a chicken and I couldn't feed it because it wouldn't put the hay into the feeder.
And now the chicken can't. Now the chicken's not starving now.
Yes.
You now have a happy chicken.
And I'm happy because I'm actually able to go on and play it, and it's great.
A happy V makes for a happy chicken.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We'll go with that. A game which I still... I'm going to drag it under again because it's a game which I feel should be still delayed. Cyberpunk.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
That should have been delayed. I know, we've already spoke about it and we know why the reasons why it was delayed. Inside episode 1. If you want to go catch up to episode 1, I'm sure it'll be down below, or it'll be onside the channel. If you're listening to this on YouTube, it'll be onside the Webleedpixels YouTube channel. If you're listening to it on Spotify, I'm guessing it'll be in the selected menu of the Webleedpixels podcast.
Yes.
But that should definitely have been delayed. It should have been delayed until now. If they would have released it now, this August, it would have sold a hell of a lot better. Sony wouldn't have removed it from their store for nearly over a year, and it would have sold, they wouldn't have got as much stick as what they got for the game. Not saying that it's on the devs' fault, because obviously like I said, we spoke about it, and we said, and we was in agreement that it's not always the devs' fault. There's higher up people pushing them to release the product.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel as if that game would have been released now, how it is and how it looks now, because I know people who have an absolute blast of it. I mean, there's somebody inside the community who is, but all weekend they've just played Cyberpunk. That's that's them enjoying the game of how it's meant to be, rather than waiting to enjoy Cyberpunk.
I just feel like with how broken it still is, I just feel like another delay couldn't hurt it any more than like the game is already hurting itself right now with how busted it is.
Yeah, definitely 100%. It's like, say, because with Craftopia, we can't really complain or anything or say, well, this game should have been delayed because it's in game preview, and that's a smart way. Sorry.
Oh, I just said it's not out.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's out for like early access, but that's a smart way of what devs do, where they put their game in early access or game preview, because then you really have nothing to complain about because the game says it's not a finished product. Like, that to me, that's a smart thing, like, of what devs are doing.
If anything, I'm hyped for it to be finished because I had a lot of fun playing it the other day. I had a couple game crashes, but obviously, it's in preview, so I'm not like, oh, this game sucks. It's like, no, they are still definitely working on it. There's so, like, it tells you at the beginning, you can report any issues. but also there's so many things in it that it says like, oh, coming soon, this coming soon, because it's not out yet, like not fully. So I'm okay with it. I'm just based on the little taste that I had, even with a couple like crashes, I'm really excited for it to be fully out and playable.
Yeah, same. I am. I can't wait to play it. Like, one thing which I would like the devs to do, which I don't think that the game is actually meant to play like that, but games like this I feel need a first-person mode. I like playing survival games in first-person mode.
I hate it. I'm perfectly happy not in first person.
All right, well, there you go. So there's two different sides of the spectrum of like, hey, first-person mode, nah, hate it. Third-person mode all the way.
Mm-hmm. One last little delay is the Kiwi game.
Oh.
I know it is out on Switch and PC, so for any of you already playing it, let us know how it is. But for consoles, it has been delayed again. So I'm hoping that it's a delay that is productive so that we end up with a really good game when it does come out, because it's another one that has been delayed a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's now removed from the Xbox store. You can't find, so like people who pre-ordered it, I don't know what's happening with their money or whether or not they just got to wait, but it's nowhere on the store. I can't find it.
Yeah, they don't. I haven't seen any kind of timeline of when they are delaying it till. They've just said coming soon to PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, which means that necessarily means like one or two things. It's not going to be until late. I mean, we're already late this year, but later this year or next year. Like, if the game gets removed from the store, don't expect that game to come out in the next year. Maybe, possibly, because I know Cyberpunk, I think, originally done that where they put it on the Xbox and PlayStation Store, and then it got immediately removed for like a year. So I don't know what's happening, but I would like to find out what's happening, because that is a fantastic. It looks like a cute game, and I want to play it.
It looks so cute. I'm just really hoping that when it does come out, that it works. Like, I don't care if it comes out way later, as long as it works.
Yes. And I think that's about all the time we have for this week.
That's us for the week.
But I will say next week, well, not next week, but in 2 weeks' time, when with episode 4, you can expect a guest.
Ooh, little guest.
Yes, there's going to be a guest, there's going to be an interview, and they're going to help us talk about the next topic. And something which I want to add and say, if you have any topics which you think you would like us to discuss, please leave them in comments down below, and in a future episode, we can talk about a topic which you say, hey, TMV, please talk about this.
Yes. Or leave us any comments. Leave us reviews, anything. We'd love to hear from you. And maybe we will say about it on our podcast.
Yes, maybe. Yeah. So yes, please do. Please leave us feedback. I know that the Webleedpixels YouTube channel, I know that they do premieres of the new podcast episodes, and I know that we are inside the chat as well, talking about the podcast as it's happening.
Yes, we will be sat in the live premiere of the podcast on Wednesdays when they come out. So if you would like to chat, we'll be there.
We will. And I think from all of us here at Webleedpixels, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode. Thank you very much for hanging with us. And please make sure to check out the Webleedpixels website, which I'm sure will be down below inside the information. Right, so we will see you in 2 weeks' time. This has been T.
And V.
Goodbye.
Bye.